The argument happened near the front desk, where everyone could hear it. A woman stood there crying, her hands shaking as she tried to explain herself. Her voice cracked mid-sentence, and the words tangled together the way they do when panic takes over. Papers spilled from her purse onto the floor, and she crouched down to gather them, embarrassed and overwhelmed. Daniel stepped out from behind the counter without thinking. He wasn't a manager. He wasn't authorized to get involved. He was just an employee who saw someone breaking in front of him. "Take a breath," he said gently, kneeling to help her pick up the papers. "You're okay. We'll figure this out." The woman nodded, wiping her face with her sleeve. For a moment, the noise of the office faded. She wasn't alone anymore. That's when the supervisor appeared. "What do you think you're doing?" he snapped. Daniel stood slowly. "She needed help." "This is not your job," the supervisor said sharply. "You're holding up operations." "I can finish my work later," Daniel replied. "She's clearly—" "That's enough," the supervisor cut in. "Come with me." The woman watched in confusion as Daniel was pulled aside. Her crying stopped, replaced by guilt. "I didn't mean to get him in trouble," she said softly. Daniel shook his head. "You didn't." In a small office down the hall, the supervisor didn't waste time. "You crossed the line," he said. "We don't pay you to play hero. Turn in your badge." Daniel felt the words land heavy in his chest. Fired. Just like that. He placed his badge on the desk without arguing. He had rent to worry about, bills waiting at home. But even then, he didn't regret stepping forward. As he walked back through the lobby to collect his things, he passed the woman again. She stood frozen, eyes wide. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. Daniel managed a small smile. "It's okay. You mattered." Minutes later, the front doors opened again. A hush spread through the room as a sharply dressed man entered, flanked by two executives. Conversation stopped. The supervisor straightened instantly. The CEO had arrived. He scanned the room calmly. Then his gaze settled on the woman near the desk. Her face was still red from crying, papers clutched tightly in her hands. He walked over. "Are you all right?" She hesitated, then nodded slowly. "I was. Until he got fired for helping me." The CEO turned. "Who?" She pointed. "Him." Daniel felt every eye shift toward him. The CEO listened as the woman explained what had happened. He didn't interrupt. When she finished, the room was silent. The CEO turned to the supervisor. "Is this true?" The supervisor swallowed. He acted without authorization. The CEO nodded once. "Good." The word landed wrong. "Good," the supervisor echoed. "Yes," the CEO said calmly. "Because this company was built by people who noticed when someone was hurting and chose to help anyway." He looked back at Daniel. "You're not fired." Relief hit Daniel like a wave. "You're promoted," the CEO continued. "And effective immediately, you'll be training others on how we treat people here." The supervisor's face drained of color. The woman covered her mouth, tears returning, this time for a different reason. If this moment made you pause, if it reminded you how easy it is to punish compassion, support Kindness Corner by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Stories like this matter because they ask us what kind of people we reward. Daniel didn't celebrate. He didn't raise his voice or look around for approval. He walked back to the woman and asked quietly, "Are you really okay now?" She nodded, smiling through tears. "Because you were." And that's the part that stays with you. Not that a CEO walked in, but that someone was willing to risk everything to help a stranger who was crying. So ask yourself this. If kindness cost you your job, even for a moment, would you still choose it?